DS83 and welcome to a Let's Play Fallout 4. While talking about why I have kind of lost my interest in gaming. I bought Fallout 4 with all the DLCs on sale. Because as you know, I call myself the cheap gamer. I was waiting for the game of the year, but I think I basically got the game of the year when I bought this for about the price of a new Fallout. I was getting kind of tired of waiting, so yeah. So anyway, the first thing I was going to do today was get a haircut. You see, I got a haircut in my real life, and to me it was kind of important to make my avatar in Fallout 4 look like me, you know? So, cause that's how I play RPGs. First time I play, I always play as myself in that world. You know, I don't know how other people play it, but I do that. I try to solve the moral questions, if you like, as if I did them myself, and stuff like that. And if the RPG is good, I will play it again, and then I will play it with different moral choices that I would have. Like in Fallout 3, the second time I may have blown up Megaton, I think that was the city's name, Megaton. So yeah, people say that, oh, you need to buy it on PC because it's so much better graphics, but I think this graphic is good enough. It's fine. I'm sure people I'm sure the graphics are better on PC. It's not what I'm disputing at all.
Around here, we call your haircut.
So this is the
scab
hair salon.
Flecks of blood, give it the personal touch. You should think about getting a trim. Sounds good. Let's get to it. Just sit in the chair.
Yes, this is some next level gaming right here. I'll browse through all of the haircut options to make sure I get the right one. Yes, so this character is supposed to look like me, but I don't know. It's not that accurate. The nose, I think, is at least wrong. I think it's slightly more rugged. This guy looks slightly more rugged than I do. Yeah. So anyway, I've lost interest in gaming. Every time I have some spare time now, I think, should I go on Xbox and play something? I basically play 2 games right now, which is not the norm. Normally I only play 1 game at a time, and that's like how I roll. I play 1 game for the first time, and then I can play other games at the same time, which I have already played. Usually focusing on mini games or achievement hunts or online gaming. But this time around I'm playing Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Because this came out on sale and I wanted to play it while I'm playing Skyrim. And I don't like RPG games, to be honest with you, which is, I guess, kind of ironic since I'm currently playing 2 RPGs at the same time. But the problem I have with RPGs is that they are too big. I don't like games that are too big. It's like you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet and realize you don't want any of it. It just gets too much, so I lose my appetite. That is the problem with RPGs. Also, I also have some problems with like AI. Like in Skyrim, sometimes I have 2 companions now, and sometimes they will, for instance, start to fight each other. And what am I supposed to do now? And I just have to stand there and look at them kill each other. I can't talk to them. I can't do anything. Which in tabletop RPGs, you could actually say, then I get in the middle and say, stop your fighting, and then some dice are being rolled, and then you get options beyond watching them die. And I've tried, like, I tried to talk to them, you can't do that, and I've tried to use a calm spell and all kinds of things to just make them stop killing each other, and it doesn't work. And that's kind of frustrating, and then they kill each other, and that's like me dying. I have to restart the game, and I don't want them to die. And so it gets frustrating. Another example could be like, there is like a vampire in town, and I'm trying to kill that vampire, and by accident I may have hit the local soldier, and then suddenly I'm like this huge villain, right? I may have saved the town from dragon attacks 10 times in a row, but since I by accident hit the local guard, I'm now the villain of the year. Or if I steal or kill a chicken, it's like, again I get I am the hero of the town, and I kill a chicken, and then it's like I'm the worst person ever. That's also a thing that I kind of don't like. But the main problem is that right now I think I have like 150 hours of Skyrim, and I still haven't finished the story. It's not like I'm returning to the Skyrim world just to explore more. I am not done with the main part of the game. Right, in this story you are hunting your so I decided for this one, the rebel. I think that's the closest one to my real life new haircut.
Go away, I'm busy.
If you're looking for a haircut, the salon's open in the morning.
So yeah, I spend a hell of a lot of time playing RPGs, and it gets kind of annoying when it doesn't end. I mean, it's like reading a book. A good book is a good book, but when you have read and read and read and read. I'm currently reading it. It's 1,000 pages, actually 1,300, 400 pages. And it's good, it's not that, but it's also very, very long. Less is more. That's the moral I'm trying to say. And RPGs don't know that less is more. Sometimes it's just so much things you can do. I prefer a smaller scale game with replay value than a large game that I never finish, you know? I think that's the rule of anything for me. It's like, don't make it too long. Like a movie that lasts 3 hours, that's too long for me. I prefer it better be a really good movie if it lasts more than 2 hours, okay? But sometimes it just give you so much movie, and it's not really that good or entertaining or stimulating. Just infinite amount of CGI and action, you know? It's like taking a roller coaster. It's great to take a roller coaster for like 2 minutes, but then if you have to take that roller coaster for 2 hours, you're gonna get nauseated and sick, and I don't think it's even healthy. So less is more, and RPGs are too big for me. But Fallout is like the exception for me because the world is so interesting. Skyrim, I like the world there too. A lot less, to be honest with you. I'm not really a fan of the Elder Scroll thing, and that's the only Elder Scroll game I played. So
See if we can pick up the tram.
I'm not really a fan of Elder Scrolls, but I thought it was time that I tried it, so I bought the Game of the Year edition and I got all of the DLCs and stuff, and I've been playing it for over 100 hours, and I still haven't finished it. I have become legendary in certain perks.
Okay, boy, let's track him.
Or certain skill sets, and then I restarted them. So you know, I have done stuff, and I've gotten achievements, and I have explored a lot. And it's not that I don't like it; it's just that after a while, it just gets nauseated. But I don't think the main. Hold on. So I don't. I feel like it's a strive to play now. I don't want to anymore, and it kind of annoys me. But I think the reason for it is not that I'm playing RPGs. I mean, I just could have played something else. I think the main reason is slightly more personal. That is that when I was younger, I played the NES. There were no online parts. And then I bought the GameCube, and it still didn't have any online parts, you know? There were no internet connection and online play and chat rooms. And then I bought the Wii, and it's the same thing there. I mean, they did have some social aspects, but it wasn't that good. And then I bought the Xbox 360, and for a long time I didn't connect it to the internet, and then I connected it to the internet, and then I got some of my real life friends on there. So we were supposed to play together, but some of them really didn't do that either. For one thing, we like different games. You know, I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and not everyone I know in real life are real Resident Evil fans, and in fact some of them haven't played any of them, I think. And they bought Borderlands, and they bought games that I didn't care for, although much later I started to like it, but then they were done with those games. So my real life friends and I haven't played a lot together, but I did after a while get some online friends, you know, people from all over the world. It was kind of fun. Mexico, Australia, England, France, some Czech, some Slavic country I can't name. I can't remember which one. We were Spain. We were like a social group, and then after a while, it stopped. I don't know why. It just stopped. And that I think is the main reason why I've lost interest in gaming. Is that, as I said, when I was younger, this part of gaming, the social aspect, wasn't there, and I didn't need it, and I didn't want it, and then I got used to the social aspects of it. I didn't feel the need to be social constantly. I mean, sometimes I would just go on as offline and make sure that I could just focus on the game and be alone. But I had the option of being social, and now people have disappeared, people have moved on, people have deleted me and stuff like, and I have deleted them. And the sum now is that I basically don't have any friends anymore on Xbox. So I think that's kind of fascinating, is that when I was younger, the social aspect was not important at all, but then the Xbox introduced this social aspect and now it's gone. So I'm basically back to the GameCube and stuff like that. And now it's kind of bothering me. I mean, this game doesn't need any other people, you know? This is a single player game. There's no co-op in it at all. And yet, when I go online and play and know that there's nobody else on, it makes me feel kind of sad. And I think that's the main reason why I lost interest. Not that I'm playing RPGs, but the fact that people are gone. And I know that I can like look up other people. I mean, what I basically can do is like I can start playing Resident Evil 5, right? And then I can play online, and then I can like, do you want to have a chat? And then I can just be polite and kiss their ass, and then we may be friends. It's not that difficult to get new people to hang out with and play games with, but I don't want it. I have no need for it, you know? I had friends there, why would I want new ones? And if I may be a bit philosophical here, I think the main reason is that I am an introvert. I have no need for a lot of friends. I don't want a lot of friends. I just want some close and good people to get to know. Whilst other people, let's call them extroverts, are more like, the new people I meet are so much more interesting than the old ones. And I can to a certain extent understand that, because when you meet new people, it's like, it's a mystery. Who are they? What do they think? And there's also a slight promise of a possibility of fun and stuff like that, and you haven't bickered. I mean, I have to be honest with you, the social aspect did involve some drama sometimes. There were a lot of fighting, and I think some people had an affair with other people. That was not my concern, but I did hear that like one person had like a sexual affair with another one. It's like, what? What does this have to do with Xbox gaming? But fine. But still, I killed a legendary there. You see that? Yay! First legendary thing I got. I don't know. Boo-boo. But anyway, point is that I have no need to replace old people with new. And I noticed that this is like something that differentiates me from a lot of people. It's that, oh, it's a new person in the chat room. Oh, it's a new person in real life. Let's focus a lot of time and energy on that person. And I like, no. I mean, I'm sure he's a perfect person, very nice person, but I have no need to engage like they though. So that's like I think that's if you're an introvert, you may disagree with me, but that's what basically makes me think that I'm an introvert. Is that I have no need for a lot of friends, and I have no need to be social 24/7. And when I am social, I can get tired. Like it gives me something. It's not like I hate being social, but after I have been social, I am tired, I'm spent, and I don't want to do it for a while. I'm tired, I don't want, it's enough of that. And I can stay home alone for a while and be satisfied. I don't need any more social interaction for some time. And that and then the need for being having lots of new friends and expanding your circle, etc. I think you can also, like, if you want to make it more data based, you can say if you have friends on Facebook, for instance, those people who have 1,000 friends I would call extroverts, And those people who have 30 friends are introverts, or 70 friends, or a lot less than what the other people have. And the higher the number of friends in your friends list, the more likely you're dealing with an extrovert. On my friends list, I have like, I'm closing in on 80 now, and I have deleted a bunch, so I mean, it's not been totally 7. I think I have had up to 100, and I've deleted some, then I've added some, and deleted some, and added some, but I think I'm close to 80 now. And I have no need for more.
Bloody bandages.
You know?
Dogmeat can track this.
And in real life, I think I have like 7, 8 friends. Tops.
What do you think, boy?
And I'm like really doubtful whether or not I would call them friends even, you know, some of them. Like, I have like a very high demand for what a friend is. And one of the things that I kind of demand from a friendship is that they will take initiative for social interaction. And if they do not do that, if I feel like I am the only one wanting to be social, then the friendship will die. I have no need to be friends with people who are busy being friends with other people. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I think it's kind of funny. I do that. I do think it's funny that that's a good weapon I chose there. Flare gun. I just tried. I think it's not supposed to be a weapon. I think you're supposed to shoot it in the sky and then you get help from people, I think. That's what I understood. Get help from the 1 Minute Men, which are a group of people there. Now, I don't know what you think of RPGs, but that's my opinion on RPGs, what I just said. It's fun, but it's also tiresome. You get too much game for the price, and at times it also feels like it becomes a distraction for the total experience. Like, why you get in Fallout 4 you can build a town. Well, it's not great. You can build a town. Yeah. You can build houses in that town. With details of walls and interior decoration. It's amazing. But what does that have to do with me finding my son, which is the plot of this game? There are some new creatures too, I think. I've never seen the wild mongrel. And I haven't seen the two-headed goat and a two-headed deer. So I don't know if they have been established in previous Fallout games. I have all of them. I have all the Fallout games. But I only played Fallout 3, New Vegas, and this. I bought the other ones on Steam, but I tried it for like half an hour, and then no, this is not for me. Perhaps a little bit more, 3 hours. I didn't like the turn-based thing, it was an annoyance. And also the graphics was really retro, and it kind of drew me out of the game. Kind of, I don't know. But I have them. Perhaps with the intention of buying them, and I've played them. I have felt them. With the intention of playing, I don't know. I've seen like people talking about the original Fallout games, and I get that they are really detailed. in ways that perhaps these games are not, because when games become more advanced in certain aspects, that may affect
Decoy, huh? Clever.
other parts of the game. So, for instance, in Fallout and Fallout 2, they had it was text based, you know. There wasn't a lot of dialogue in the game, or there was dialogue, but it was text based. And since people didn't have to record those things, you could add more text, you know. And with more text, you can add more dialogue options. And with more dialogue options, you could like do more interesting things. And that is the main part of an RPG game, is the dialogue options. And in this game, some people are criticizing it's very simplistic. It should have been more expansive, it should have been more detailed, because that RPG is not the game mechanics, or it is the game mechanics, but it's also the R playing, the role playing thing. And you're not role playing right now. I'm not role playing as much as I'm having an escort mission with my dog, and this could just as easily be in a first person shooter, you know, with this little thing. It could have been a first person shooter, that's my point. Right now we're just killing things, and all games are killing things. So the R of the RPG has been downplayed as other parts of the game has become more expansive. I guess you can say building your own town is also kind of like an RPG. You know, it's not... I guess you could say the first thing people think of when they talk about RPG, I think is like character enhancement, upgrading, leveling up. I think people agree on that. That is the most typical type of RPG game mechanics. And then you have usually also like a sandbox element, like you can go where you want, and then you have dialogue options, and I guess moral choices. You know, if you have these things, I think you're pretty close to an RPG. And these dialogue options that I talked about earlier, I agree with the critics that it could have been better. You know, you have 4 options usually: ask a question, be sarcastic, sorry. That's like the basic options now. And earlier you could read what you were supposed to say. You know, you could read your what you would have said, and then press enter or press A or whatever, and then that's what the character said. Now it's basically like 4 words that indicates what the sentence would be. But it's I haven't had any real problems with it yet. I guess because I'm playing the good guy right now. If I were to replay this game as a bad guy, then basically all the options I had was sarcastic. I guess after a while you get more, for more morally devious things you do, you may get more immoral wordings as well, but I don't know. I haven't played it that much. I only played it for 12 hours, you know? Come back to me when I played it for 200! Yes, I think you get the dialogue options now. Let's see. No?
What have we here?
Oh.
Error. System corrupt. I can't feel my legs.
There you go. What happened after
What happened
Keller?
here?
Error. Operator deceased. Threat level Omega. He killed us.
Still on track. Hopefully he's not much further.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not really a big RPG fan, but I like Fallout, that's the exception. And I kind of like Skyrim because I'm Norwegian, and I like that it looks like Norway because it kind of does. The dragons here, of course, aren't that big and aggressive as they are in Skyrim, but everything else is basically like Norway. Yeah, but the flora and the fauna, okay? The flora and the fauna, it's basically the flora, the flowers and things like that, and the geography, and I guess the weather. That's feels really Norwegian. Except, like, of course, in Skyrim you have like winter areas and then you have spring areas. You walk up the mountain and then it's winter, and then you walk down the mountain and then it's spring. It's not like summer and winter, fall. The weather is static in certain areas to make it. Yeah. Well, so I like that. But yeah, I'm not. I don't think this is. I think Fallout is gonna be my main RPG game, and I'm not gonna buy any other. And I don't care if people say. And I'm talking about real RPG games, not games with RPG elements like BioShock and Borderlands. It's still a very linear game. I like linear games where you can, if you want to branch out and do other stuff, fine. But I don't want a game that never ends, because I play for the story mainly, and everything else it can be fun, but it can also be a distraction. You never finish. Walk and walk and walk and walk, and you lose track of what the hell you were doing. My son? Do I have a son? Oh yeah, that's right. It's my son. Sean was his name, right? Yeah, I remember now. I thought I was supposed to destroy the world, or have a dialogue, or build a town, or date a woman, or yeah. It says that you can marry in Skyrim. I have no idea how you marry in Skyrim. I have not encountered that option yet. And I don't use walkthroughs unless I'm really stuck. And if I'm stuck, then I blame the game. I don't go on. I don't use walkthroughs unless I'm stuck. Like, for instance, once first time I played Resident Evil 6, I thought it was a glitch in the beginning because I really had difficulty finishing the intro part of the game. So I had to look it up, and then I blamed Capcom for that. That was like, if I remember correctly, it was counterintuitive controls where if the camera angle changed, then you also had to change your joystick direction. So if or was it the opposite, that when the camera angle changed, you didn't? I think you did. So there was like Leon, I think, run through some kind of explosion, and then the camera angle changed, and then I had to change my stick, but I didn't, and then I died over and over again. And I think the character still run. It wasn't like he started to run in the opposite direction. He just ran very slowly. That's what I remember, I think. And so that's an example of when I use a walkthrough. But as I said, I think a good game you shouldn't use. I'm not saying Resident Evil 6 is a bad game. I'm just saying that was a flaw. If I need a walkthrough, that's actually a sign of a bad game. especially if I have to constantly use it. And that's one of the things, like people say Monkey Island is such a great game, but I can never have to finish that game without a walkthrough. Any of them. And that is a fault. The puzzles I would like to meet the person who could actually solve that game without using a walkthrough. I mean, somebody has to, I guess, because that game sold, it was way before the internet. But I sum up my opinion on the puzzles in Monkey Island with like the monkey for a wrench puzzle, because that's one I remember. But there are others too, where you have an inventory and then you have like, I think it was a waterfall or something, and then you have like different things in the inventory, and then basically after a while you just start using everything in the inventory. And I think if I remember correctly, I didn't have the monkey, and then I found the monkey, and then I looked at the walkthrough, and then it was like, okay, you have to use the monkey on that thing, because in English there's something called a monkey wrench, I think, and it was a pun on that. You had a monkey wrench, a monkey for a wrench, a real monkey, or not a real one, it was in a game, but a monkey, an ape, that was a wrench that made you screw up the thing. You screw up with a wrench. And I was like, that's an example of this puzzle doesn't make sense, you know. This puzzle doesn't make sense. And that's an example of, I'm not saying Monkey Island is a bad game though, but the puzzles are basically, if the game was like that, you should have added like a walkthrough in the game, you know? Okay, you can try different things, and when you get tired of it, and that's how the new versions, the HD versions were. If you remember, you could, if you played it, you could press like a Y or something, and then you got a clue, and then you can press the Y again, and then you got a better clue, and if you press a third time, you basically just told you what to do. So, but that should have been the game mechanics in the original too, I think. In that one, I think you had like a call option. You could call LucasArts. This is the leveling up thing. I think you can get a poster with this. But to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I wanted to, because this is very Fallout 4. This was not in the other Fallout games. In fact, I don't like it that much. In the other Fallout game, your stats were bound. That was your stats, and if you wanted to become better, you have to you find specific places in the world to enhance your stats. How logical that is could be debated. I mean, to a certain extent, it would have been fun if you could level up your strength by using I don't know, going to a weight place or something, you know what I'm saying? Weight place. A health club. It's not a health club here, but so you build something and then you can, whatever. The point is that read books, enhance your IQ, but I don't like that you can just level up. You can enhance your intelligence by leveling up. I don't like that. Yes. Should we call it quits? I have, I think, 4 minutes of video left, but I don't need to talk through it. I basically finished this little part of the quest. We found Kellogg, so I bet you've been paying attention. But yeah, I really like Fallout. Sometimes I wish that I could live in Fallout world. Not really, but yeah. The setting is really artistic. How they made like a futuristic world based on 50s 50s sci-fi aesthetics and political, how the world was back then. I guess I never lived in the 50s and 60s, so I can't remember, but I understood there was a Red Scare, I understood there was a fear of nuclear war, and the sci-fi movies, I know of those because I've seen them, but and I have a education that has explained this to me, but yeah. It's really an interesting thing. Yes, but I think we should call it a quits now. Thank you for watching, and if you watched all the way to the end, wow! You really should rate, subscribe, and comment. You are a hero. Bye bye!